So former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton shedding more light on the fallout from the Benghazi terror attack. Here is Diane Sawyer in the beginning of a whole group of interviews, including Fox coming up later, where Diane Sawyer asks the big question from Good Morning America. Watch.
Is there anything you personally should have been doing to make it safer in Benghazi?
Well, what I did was give very direct instructions that the people who have the expertise and experience in security apply it. Well, that is personal, though, Diane. I mean, I'm not equipped to sit and look at blueprints to determine where the blast walls need to be or where the reinforcements need to be. That's why we hire people who have that expertise.
I wonder if people are looking for a sentence that begins from you. I should have. I should have.
What's the answer to that question? That's what we call a tease. Good morning, gentlemen. Bob Beckel, former Democratic campaign manager and co-host of The Five. Tucker Carlson, editor of The Daily Caller and co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. So, Tucker, let me start with you. She can't possibly be asked to figure out where the blast walls are. Is that a satisfactory answer?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. The ABC write-up of this says she's personally taken responsibility numerous times for Benghazi, but taking responsibility requires you to explain what you should have done, what you didn't do, what you'll do next time. And she's done none of that. She's never explained. She didn't answer the question. I'd be shocked. I bet my car she won't answer the question. It's taken her, 12 years to admit she shouldn't have voted for the Iraq War. So, this is not what taking responsibility looks like in the rest of the country. This is the Washington version of taking responsibility. Somebody else should have done something, but, I'm not going to explain what I should have done.
That's a really good point. Because she did say that, Bob. She said, I take full responsibility. But that was the end of that chain of thought. And it does follow that you need to say, I understood that the British ambassador had a threat on his life. I know that there were calls for more security. These are the reasons why I chose not to provide it.
Well, Martha, it's only because I'm here with you and Tucker this morning that I'm willing to talk about this, because on my own show, I refuse to talk about Benghazi, but I will this morning, just for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She had exactly the right comment. They do hire people. The answer is they should have hired better people. She's taken responsibility for it. As far as I'm concerned, this issue is over, and the only reason they're going forward in the Congress is because they're trying to make hay over the bodies of four dead people.
I'm sorry. I got to jump in here for a second. I know you say you don't want to talk about it on The Five, but no one's been arrested in this case. The president promised that there would be justice in this case, so why would it be over?
Well, I mean, I assume when you say over, I would be willing to say it's over when the people who did the killing are apprehended.
And that has not happened.
Well, they've been trying that. You think they're all staying back in FBI headquarters and not doing anything about it?
I have no other indication. It took them 20 days, I think, as I remember, to even get there to begin an investigation. There's no evidence that there is an ongoing active investigation in this case.
I think that's something that you probably want to check. I think they would not, in a minute, allow these people to be wandering without being an investigation on them. It took the FBI 20 days to get permission to go into Libya to begin the investigation.
Tucker, you have any response to that?
Yeah, here's the question. Here's the thing for which she ought to take some responsibility. What were they doing there in the first place? There was an enormous number of CIA employees and contractors in Benghazi, Libya. There have been reports that they were there overseeing the shipment of Gaddafi's arms stockpiles to a third country for transfer to Syria and the rebels there. Congress never voted on that. If that is true, that's a total scandal. Why is nobody asking that question?
Why is that a scandal?
Who did these arms?
Why is that a scandal?
Congress. Well, let me explain. Because Congress has to authorize it. And where do these arms go? If these were in fact Stinger missiles, hold on. Who wound up with these weapons? This is in our name. This is our money being used to do this. Why do we know nothing about it? And why is nobody asking even the question? What were they doing there?
Tucker, I was involved in 1980 moving Stinger missiles into Afghanistan to fight the Russians. We didn't have authorization to do that. We did it because we had stockpiles of them that had already been authorized. In this case, this was Gaddafi's weapons. Had nothing to do with United States taxpayer money. They could move them wherever they wanted to whoever they wanted to.
All right.
Okay.
So
there
are these
American
questions, back to Hillary
this.
for a second here, guys. So, Bob, is that a question that you would expect Hillary Clinton to have to answer in this process? What were they doing there? What were these CIA operatives doing there? Were they securing weapons? And where were those weapons going? Is that a fair question?
Yes, they certainly were CIA operatives there. And Tucker's right. I congratulate Tucker on his the work they've done on this. But they were there because they were moving weapons around. The real question is, why was the ambassador there? The ambassador never told anybody he was going there. He went there to meet with some people. We don't know why. Those are questions yet to be answered. I don't know the answer. I don't think anybody else does. But why was, on 9/11, a United States ambassador in a hostile environment traveling to consulates anywhere in the world? There was not, as far as I know, another ambassador in an Arab country that was moving around outside the perimeter of the embassy.
Is that a fair question? Tucker?
Hillary Clinton says it's a she said in that interview with ABC, it's a travesty to ask those questions. It's appalling to ask those questions. You have no right to ask those questions. Really? If one of my reporters filed a news story on Benghazi and didn't ask the question, the basic question, what the heck was this about in the first place, I would say, get out of here. Go rewrite the story. I want to know what the facts are. We're not even trying to get the facts.
She said we had no right to know why he traveled to Benghazi that day?
She described the hearings into Benghazi as, quote, a travesty. Really? Whenever someone in power tells you asking questions is a travesty,
that is a different...
All right, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. You know, over the course of this week, Hillary Clinton's going to do a number of interviews, all related to her book. And it's clear that one of the reasons that she is doing this and that she wrote about Benghazi and that she's open to taking questions about it, Bob, is that she wants to see if she can put this issue behind her. Do you agree?
Exactly the right thing to do. Yeah, if I were contemplating running for president in 2016, which obviously she is, I, for one, don't think she will. But if she does,
really,
getting them out of the way now is a good idea. I don't think there'll be 100 votes from undecided voters on Benghazi in 2016.
Could be. You could be right. And you don't think she's going to run?
I don't. I don't. No, I don't.
All right. Interesting. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Tucker. See you next time,
Martha.
guys.